In this video, I'm going to show you how to utilize the research records card in the MnSHIP application. I'm already logged in, so I'm going to open up my dashboard. The research records card is for credentialed users to conduct database queries against the MnSHIP database. Every record in MnSHIP has a database entry, but only about 90 to 95% of the properties have geometry. So when you're searching for properties on the public or the private map, you're only searching within the subset of the properties that have geometry. Additionally, you're only searching on those maps, you're only searching for the most recent version of the forms for those properties with geometry. If you want to search every version of every form for every property in MnSHIP, regardless of whether or not it has geometry, then you want to utilize the research records card. I'm going to open the research records card by clicking research. You'll see that there are many different filters that are available for querying the database. You can open or close the different query groups by clicking the arrow. All these filters work in conjunction with each other as ANDs, and there's one exception to that, which is the public land survey, which I'll talk a little bit later. So what that means is, though, that you can search for this, like a query like county and a municipality, and it'll only bring back records that fit that particular county and the municipality. Okay, I'm going to go through what each of these filters actually do. The historic inventory number looks against the historic, as it would indicate the historic inventory number, but this searches for any part of a number. So if I put in 001, it'll give me all the properties that have 001 somewhere in the historic inventory number. The historic name works in a similar manner, where if the term you entered is found in any part of the historic name, then it yields a result. The same is true with the street address. You'll see here that I put in 10 Main, and it gave me 310 Main, 610 Main, 1210 Main, etc. And the address that is put in here is the address. It searches against the address that is in the database in MnSHIP. So it's always better to use sort of a shorter version of the address that sort of get the essential parts, rather than try to guess if the address has, you know, a zip code or other things like that are associated with it. The county and the municipality filters are self-evident. Additionally, there's filters for the CLG and legacy grant numbers, the tax credit project number for searching properties. This filter here is really important. So if you want to just search for any version of a form, you leave it on the default, which is any. But if you only want to see the most recent version, then you would change it to only the most recent version. So here's an example of how this AND search works. So I'm going to look for a property in Anoka County, and I only want to look at the most recent version. So what it's going to give me when I click search here, I'm going to clear that, Anoka and only most recent. There. What it's going to give me is a results of all the properties that have been inventoried in Anoka County and only the most recent versions of those properties. You can see on the table here that this says yes to the most recent version, and that the county is Anoka for all of these properties. Okay. Looking at the PLSS, this is a little bit different of a filter. This filter works internally as an OR, but in conjunction with other filters as an AND. So I'll demonstrate that. So I'm going to enter in some township ranges and sections. I'll click add. I'm going to do multiples. You can do up to 10 at one time. I'm going to add one more. Okay, so when I click search here, it's going to give me all the properties that are found within this township range section, or this township range and section, or this township range and section. So you'll see here that it's giving me things that are in section 5, section 8, and section 9. Now, when I throw in one of these additional filters up here, maybe I'll put in the term hall. So then I'm searching for properties that are found in this township range and section, or this township range and section, or this township range and section, and that have hall in the name. When I click search here, it gives me 4 properties. So these are the only 4 properties that fit all those parameters. This or this or this, and in hall, and with hall in the historic name. So that's the only sort of thing you need to be mindful of when you're using the PLSS filters. There's additional filters that are available to you here, including the architectural style or the design professional, historic function and use and subcategory. And then there's a number of fields here that are related to the SHPO review fields. So this allows you to look at things like whether something is individually listed, whether it has a NIRIS number, if it's environmental review status, if it has a SHPO report number, there's been a determination of eligibility, if it's been locally designated, the environmental review program number, whether or not it's been state listed, if it's a National Historic Landmark, or whether or not the property has been determined, has been listed on the National Register or is eligible for the National Register. So let's do a broader search leveraging a number of these different filters. So I'm going to search for properties that are in Bemidji that are the most recent. I'm going to add in a township range and section. I'm going to add another township range and section. 4, 6. And I'll look at, I only want to see things that are National Register listed. So in this search, I'm asking for all the things that are in the town of Bemidji, only the most recent version of the forms. They need to be in this township range section or this township range and section, and they need to be listed on the National Register. So when I click search here, it brings up 4 properties. The Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox statues, the Beltrami County Courthouse, and the Bemidji Public Library. Okay, there's a couple other features I want to show you. In this list here, you can sort columns by clicking on the column headers and it'll arrange them alphabetically. Additionally, you can change the column width. And then down here, if you have multiple pages, you can scroll through the various pages of the results, or you can change how many results show. If you want to export this data on this table as a CSV, you can click CSV, and it'll create a comma separated value document here. And if you're going to do additional manipulation to this data or sorting, it's always best practice to save this as an Excel document rather than keep it as a CSV. There's just a lot more functionality associated with the Excel document than the CSV. Now, once you've already made your searches and you wanted to do more research on these individual properties, you can open up the individual form by clicking the historic inventory number here, and then it'll open up that form in a separate page. And so now I'm able to go look at the database fields, the attachments, and the SHPO review fields that are associated with this particular property.